Bryant, you out there on the West Coast, Kobe, one of the greatest. I know this was one of your most favorite, if not the favorite players. Just wanted to,
Yeah.
bring you on, man, and just talk about some memories we had with, you might have had of Kobe and how you think Kobe would kind of embrace this new era of, NBA super teams and stuff like that.
Well, that's interesting, bro. Talking about how Kobe would embrace the super team, and because Kobe, and Shaq, damn near is a super duo
Right,
already. And I remember the season when they added Karl Malone and Gary Payton, and that was the same season he was going through his trial, his court, right? His
right,
case, and that was a super team. But when people think of super teams, I think some people get it misconstrued because they're thinking only namesake, right? You got Karl Malone and Gary Payton. What people don't really get into is where these men were um, in their career at that time. They were
right.
not in their prime. They were veterans, but they were not in their prime.
But a
We're,
Hall of Famer is a Hall of Famer, right? Or wrong?
true, true. Hall of Famer is a Hall of Famer. So I'll give you that. But someone being in their prime is someone being in their prime.
Right,
You know what I mean? We've seen Hall of Fame talent. We've seen Hall of Fame basketball players not be in their prime anymore. We see a extreme difference in their game.
right.
You know what I mean? And what we're witnessing now in current times, we're witnessing all these guys in their prime, all on the same team together. And with that, the high expectations of winning and winning now. There is no, okay, we're gonna see what we can do this year, but next year definitely not. These teams are being put together to win now. Now, as far as Kobe, I could see Kobe, being like, okay, either I'm gonna take my team I have now and try to beat this super team, or I could see him teaming up with some of the best players he can get on his team. But I think he would expect them to all have a certain kind of mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I don't see Kobe just playing with some dudes who not gonna be adults, who not gonna get out there and really work and do their thing. That's how him and Shaq got split up apart.
If Kobe was to stay, he wasn't. I mean, if he was to be playing, he wasn't going to be going anywhere. He would still be in LA more than likely. So it would be him and LeBron, to start
Mm,
this thing off. Like, could you
mm,
imagine?
mm. Listen, the crazy thing about that is we saw a glimpse of it in the was it 2010 Olympics or 2009 Olympics? I can't remember which Olympics it was,
Yep, I
but,
remember.
but we saw a glimpse of what it would be like, bro. Kobe and LeBron, bro.
And that was a younger LeBron. Like, I think since
Mm-hmm.
2018, we've seen overall the best LeBron James. So imagine
Mm-hmm.
mentally that type of LeBron and Kobe, and then you add an AD on a couple of years ago.
Oh,
But
it's
they
it's
lost. You talked about the team that the first kind of super team, so to speak, with Gary Payton and Karl Malone. They lost to Detroit in the
yeah,
finals. So you don't think that Kobe, because like you mentioned, Kobe seems to me to be the guy that will want to beat one of those super teams
right.
versus being with them. I mean, you see what happened in early 2010. I think was he was still around when LeBron joined Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that, but it seemed like everybody is getting a big three now or trying to
Mm-hmm.
build a super team. So Kobe may have to fall victim to it if he was still here and still playing. What you think?
Well, when you say fall victim, you mean fall victim as in like saying, okay, I'm gonna have to get another superstar on my team.
Yes, I have to. I have to pretty much build a team for just this year, two, three, four superstars included, because that's what it
Mm,
seems to be right now.
yeah, yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. However, we can't act like the Boston Celtics big three didn't happen. So I I think even though theirs kind of happened not as planned out as a LeBron James, D Wade, and Boston,
Right.
you know, but that happened. They beat Kobe's Lakers in 2008, then came back 2010, and then they beat uh, the Celtics in 2010, who still had the big three intact. And Kobe still had the same team he had prior, except for Meta World Peace.
Right.
So it's interesting, but to think of Kobe and LeBron, I'm sorry to get back on that. That's just kind of crazy, but yeah, I think he would have to, bro, because no one can do it by themselves, bro. You think of the 80s and the 90s; those were all super teams, bro. Think about these. Think about the players that was on the Detroit Pistons. Think about the players that was on the Boston Celtics, the Lakers. Bro, these teams had starting fives that are all Hall of Famers, bro.
Well, let's rewind because I think I may have a better question when we look at this particular situation with Kobe and the Lakers. If we go back to 2018, the end of the season, would LeBron go to join Kobe?
Mm,
Because because that's the reality of it. LeBron would be tired of playing in Cleveland. He would have to now go to Kobe's team with Kobe there. So I guess the question is not really would Kobe play with LeBron, you know what I'm saying, have a problem with that.
mhm.
Would LeBron even go to LA at that point? Do you
That's a
think if
good
Kobe was
question.
still there, would he go?
I want to say something right now, and that as a Kobe fan, you know me for years, like you know how much of a Kobe apologetic I am, right?
That's why
But
I had to bring you on. That's why.
you know what you're doing. But I gotta be honest, right? If Kobe still maintained the same type of approach and mindset as he always did, like for example, when Dwight came and when Nash came,
Right,
if he kept that same type of attitude and type of mindset, I don't think LeBron would go. I think there would have to be a situation where Kobe would have to. Now, this is me assuming that this is the Kobe that wasn't injured, that didn't get injured and all that, right? Now, if this
right,
is the Kobe that got injured and everything, then I think he would have no choice but to kind of take that back seat automatically because physically he just wasn't there.
right.
But when Dwight and Nash got there, Kobe was still Kobe. He was still averaging 30 plus points a game. No, he wasn't. Sorry, 28 points a game. He was
Close
averaging.
enough. Close
You know
enough.
what I mean? So he was still capable of doing, what Kobe does. Now, if LeBron is coming in and, I believe that LeBron in 2018 coming to the Lakers and he's still Kobe, it would be a totally different conversation that would have to be had. I think Kobe would have to more than likely understand that okay, this is the younger LeBron, and yes, the Lakers are my team, and Kobe would have to be and humble out and say the Lakers will always be Kobe's team, but right now, what's best for the team? Is it LeBron kind of taking that more leadership role, a la Dwayne Wade? The Lakers, excuse me, the Heat did not win with Dwayne Wade being the ultimate focal point of that team. They
Right.
didn't win because LeBron was taking the back seat. He didn't mind being Robin, but Dwayne Wade sat there and said, "Look, this dude is freaking amazing, and we are not going to win no championship if I'm the focal point. We got to give the ball and the keys to LeBron." And Dwayne Wade humbled out. And to be honest, that made Dwayne Wade an even better player.
Oh, absolutely. Because he wouldn't. First of all, he wouldn't. Let's be clear, and this is why I used to say disrespectfully that Dwayne Wade to me was one of the most overrated superstars in
Yeah,
history because he
you
would have
bugging with
never
that.
seen he would have never seen the finals again without LeBron.
That's true. I'll give you that. I still don't think that makes him overrated.
No, I feel like he's overrated because they put him up there as maybe the third best two guard in history behind Jordan and
I
Kobe.
yeah, I don't think that's true either. But yeah,
You know,
I don't think he's the third best shooting guard ever.
what's because I mean I can't believe that he's gone, man. Like there's one memory that stand out, from Kobe being Bryant. What's that one memory you got right now at this moment when we talk about
Wow.
Kobe?
Mm, one moment.
I think about the playoffs with Phoenix when they were down and he hit the three and they had the timeout. They stole the ball and he hit the game win at the buzzer. I
Yeah.
think it was overtime. Man, like he got so many moments on the court, but that
And you know
moment,
what? You know what moment I think about, man? And this is in the history of basketball, it really didn't mean much. But when he hit them free throws after hurting his Achilles,
mm, mm,
that
that,
right there summed up Kobe. That
that's
moment.
that's that's Mamba mentality.
That summed up. And to see how even like the Warriors team was looking at him like this nigga is really he's clearly hurt. Clearly. He's clearly injured. He really shouldn't have been on the court. But he hit them free throws and bounced. And he made them.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
that's the
With
Mamba.
a torn Achilles. And then arguably came back early. He shouldn't have really came back when he did. But he was so hell bent on proving a point. And even later it came out, he was trying to really prove a point to his teammates, his younger teammates. Like,
Right.
this is what you gotta, this is the kind of mindset and approach you have to have, bro. Like I learned a lot about Kobe in the later years when the Lakers weren't doing good. I learned a lot about Kobe even more, bro, because, you know, he still had the Mamba mentality. It's just that his body was failing him.
But he always kept that environment, that Lakers environment created. Like even when the Lakers
Yeah,
decided to go young, he still set the standard. Like you know what I mean, regardless
absolutely.
if playing or not playing. Like he always set the tone. If he didn't fuck with his teammates, he would put it out there. You know what I'm saying? If he wasn't babying nobody. Like he set that tone. If you're gonna be in the purple and gold in this day and age while I'm playing, it's got to be a certain way you conduct yourself, man. And I respect Kobe for that, even though a lot of people may not like it. You definitely got to respect it because you don't see that energy anymore. Everybody going for self.